So the alphabet that comes right after Be is Pay, like payday. It's same boat shape like Be, but instead of one dot, it has three dots. It's called a Pay, and it has a P sound, Pa, like Pakistan is written with Pay. Now the manner of it conjugated with other alphabets is same as Be. So let's start finding words that comprise of Alif Mad A, Alif, Be, and Pay. I am intentionally not teaching you other words that start with a Pay because I don't want to overwhelm you with alien looking alphabets and letters, and with their conjugated forms and separate forms. So we will take very baby steps, and what we are going to do is whichever letter we learn, we are only going to use those. We are not going to use other letters. We'll try our best to find words with these letters. We'll try our best to make sentences out of them. So it's very doable for you. So I hope you've written these down in your notebook. So let's start writing proper words with Pay. And it's sort of a revision for you guys because we are going to use the same rules of conjugation as we did for Be. So remember this old friend of ours, Alif Mad A. Then we take part of Be like we did for Be, and then we add Alif to it. A, Pa, A, Apa. What does Apa mean? Apa means big sister. This should be in the next line of your composition notebook. And please write all the phonics with every letter, so I know you'll reach a time where you won't need to write the phonics, but for now I would advise you to write the phonics for ease. Apa means big sister. In Indian subcontinent, a lot of people will call any person who is older, any lady who's older than them but not older as the next generation, they'll call her Apa or a big sister. This is out of respect. People call this as a respect. If you go to a shop and the seller wants to sell something, he'll call you Apa, like you're my big sister, something like that. So remember what we did with Baba. So we're gonna do the same thing with Apa. So A means come here. So when we say Apa, A, it means big sister, or just sister, come here. Isn't it amazing that in just 3 classes we are already doing sentences? So apa a or a apa means come here, sister. Now another word that is used very frequently in Urdu language is a. Remember how if the alif is before be, we don't conjugate it? Same rule applies for the pe and some other alphabets as well. Let's focus on pe right now. So a, p, up, which means you, but in a formal way. Urdu language has formal and informal form of speech, just like maybe in French you might have heard how they use tu and vo. This is the same for Urdu. So when we say you to somebody in a formal setting, we say aap. Like a child calling his parents, he'll say aap. Or his teacher, when he's he's addressing, he'll say aap. So this is a very, very important letter in Urdu language. Not letter, I mean word in Urdu language. And I really want you to memorize this one because it will be used in a lot of sentences later on, hopefully. Aap. Another word that we can do with just the 3 alphabets that we've learned is, remember pe? This one is dark. With alif, ba, and add a pe to it. Ba, a, p. Bap. Bap is a very, bookish way of calling, no, bap is father. That's what we call, like, how you write, oh, he is the father of that child. We'll say, oh, he is the bap of that child. No child will call his father bap, but this is just for spoken and written. It's not to be addressed like, hey, you're my bap. No, it's not like that. So bap is father. We don't say bap. We just say baba. That's much, much sweeter. So what did we learn today? We learned the letter pe, we learned to conjugate it with alif and be. So we learned a, pa. We learned, what did we learn? We learned aap, which means you in a formal way, and we learned bap, which means father. And then the sentence that we learned today was, oh my god, okay, sorry, apa, which means come sister. Okay, see you in the next lesson.